This is from Top Fives, and it's the 5 most disturbing videos from around the internet. Let's see what it's all about. I was told this is a good one, and bang. Here we go. Oh man, I don't know how this is gonna work.
Nicholas Prosper. Thankfully, there has not been a school shooting incident in the United Kingdom since the Dunblane massacre in 1996. However, there was one man who was determined to change that, and his sole ambition was to achieve lasting notoriety as a mass killer, and specifically wanted to surpass other mass killers around the world by murdering at least 30 people to achieve it. Unlike other 18-year-olds, Nicholas Prosper's idols were not footballers or music stars, but rather Adam Lanza, the perpetrator of the 2012 Sandy Hook killings in the United States. To achieve his goal, Prosper conducted in-depth research online into other mass shootings around the world.
You tell me when the
Year
volume's
planning
good.
his massacre. In a chilling note to himself, he wrote, "One of the biggest events ever." Shockingly, part of his plan was to kill his family as well. While in 2024, Prosper was living with his mother and 2 of his siblings in a flat off Wolds Bank Drive, Luton, in the United Kingdom. He had long isolated from his friends and spent much of his time searching the internet. The would-be massacre was scheduled to take place on Friday the 13th. Prosper specifically chose his former primary school
Okay.
due to his
So
prior
hopefully
knowledge of the
this-
school's layout and security system.
I hope you can hear me now.
There is no evidence that he was bullied.
If not,
In August
I can try to
2024,
adjust
he
it.
attempted to buy a gun and failed.
This might be as good as it gets.
This is a chilling video where Prosper
Okay,
is
great.
practicing
Thank
what he
you.
planned.
Thank you for helping me dial this in.
On the 12th of September,
It was,
Prosper did manage to
it's the
get his
start of a
car
real
and
bad
went
live
undercover
stream, but
using local
thank you.
for £650 using a fake firearm
Woohoo,
license.
thank you, Jacqueline.
The dealer believed the license to be
Okay. I'm just gonna start this over because I do believe that I can edit live streams when they start and end, so I'll do this again starting over. This is from Top 5 most disturbing videos from around the internet. I was told I should watch this, so I'm gonna watch it with you guys. If the sound and everything works out, so. And I don't know if this is gonna copyright straight the
Nicholas
hell out of
Prosper.
me or what, but let's see.
Thankfully, there has not been a school shooting incident in the United Kingdom since the Dunblane massacre in 1996. However, there was one man who was determined to change that, and his sole ambition was to achieve lasting notoriety as a mass killer, and specifically wanted to surpass other mass killers around the world by murdering at least 30 people
I've
to achieve
never
it.
heard of this at all.
Unlike other 18-year-olds, Nicholas Prosper's idols were not footballers or music stars, but rather Adam Lanza, the perpetrator of the 2012 Sandy Hook killings in the United States. To achieve his goal, Prosper conducted in-depth research online into other mass shootings around the world, and spent over a year planning his massacre. In a chilling note to himself, he wrote, "One of the biggest events ever." Shockingly, part of his plan was to kill his family as well. While in 2024, Prosper was living with his mother and 2 of his siblings in a flat off Wolds Bank Drive, Luton, in the United Kingdom. He had long isolated from his friends and spent much of his time searching the internet.
This is like heavy
The
right
would-be
off the
massacre
bat.
was scheduled to take place on Friday the 13th. Prosper specifically chose his former primary school due to his prior knowledge of the school's layout and security system. There is no evidence that he was bullied there. In August 2024, he attempted to buy a gun and failed. This is a chilling video where Prosper is practicing what he is planning.
Well, it is the most disturbing videos from around the internet, so
Prosper did manage to purchase his
what
double
am
barrel
I
shotgun
expecting?
and 100 cartridges from a local dealer for £650 using a fake firearms license. The dealer believed the license to be legitimate and notified police about the purchase that same day. The police informed that the fake firearms license was an extremely well-crafted forgery. When Prosper returned home one day, he
No,
started
like I said,
searching
this is.
online for instructions
I
on how to
haven't
kill someone
watched
with a
this.
shotgun,
This is.
along with search queries relating to necrophilia and the murder of Sarah Andrew. Prosper continued his searches into the early hours of the next day. At around 4:32 a.m. on September 13, 2024, he used the shotgun to fire a test shot at a teddy bear in his bedroom. Soon after, Prosper's mother Juliana woke up and saw her son armed with a gun.
So the next time a video is recommended to me, it's probably a better idea to vet the video and maybe watch it and just
His sister
see.
Giselle was awoken by the noise, and Prosper fired at her, not killing her at first. But as she tried
I
to
don't
fire,
mean to laugh at necrophilia. It's just
his brother Carl tried to use a knife to defend
the
himself,
whole
but
live
he was shot in
stream's
the
been
chest, and subsequently stabbed several times as he pleaded for his life.
it's been a
He
racket
managed
from
to
the
survive,
start. So
as he tried to escape. Prosper shot him in the head at close range. At around 5:29 a.m., a neighbor called 999.
okay, so I'm gonna just act
By the
serious.
time the police had arrived, Prosper had already left the flat and was making his way to St. Joseph's Primary School with a reloaded shotgun and 33 cartridges in a large barrel. He was wearing distinctive yellow and black clothing, acting as a sort of uniform, with which he had hoped to achieve notoriety. He soon realised the school would not be open yet and hid in a wooded area for over 2 hours. During this time, he posted a video and disposed of 2 mobile phones, believing this would protect a group of paedophiles he talked to on X. He also abandoned the bag containing the shotgun and ammunition in a bush at a playing field. At around 7:55 a.m., Prosper left his hiding spot and walked down the road towards a passing police car, which he flagged down and
I've
handed
never
himself in.
Heard of
After
this
blood was
before.
spotted on his face, the police arrested him. During his arrest, Prosper repeatedly said, "It's not murder." He was charged with 3 counts of murder, along with other offences, and on March 19, 2025, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 49 years to be served.
Okay. Okay, I guess.
Bigfoot steals cattle.
New story. This is a little bit better.
This next video was sent to the YouTube channel Legends Beware in 2015 by a rancher known as John P. from Union County, Georgia.
No.
John had an ongoing issue with his livestock going,
Did you see that?
so armed with a video recorder, he went to investigate and see if he could catch the culprits in the
Was
act.
that a dude in a suit?
However, he got a lot more than he bargained for when he captured something non-human.
They're gonna
stealing from his
replay that.
house.
Let's see this.
Take a look.
Okay. So I'm not gonna pause this or anything, but okay, something's coming up, lumbering up. Look at what I saw at the waistline. It almost looked like it was a jacket. Oh, there's no. Maybe I'm wrong.
Apparently, the battery on the camera died, preventing John from capturing any more footage. If that was Bigfoot, and it was actually stealing cattle, then is it possible Bigfoot is responsible for the mysterious cattle mutilations that have occurred all around the world? We know that cattle mutilations
Did it
are
make that
happening.
noise?
The killing and mutilation of cattle under supposedly unusual, usually bloodless circumstances.
Was that
It's a phenomenon
the
that does not
Bigfoot
just occur in
noise?
cattle. Other livestock, including sheep, horses, goats, and pigs, have also been victims. Often the bloodless mutilation has seen the removal of ear, eyeball, jaw flesh, tongue, lymph nodes, genitals, and rectum.
Hey,
The
Charlie.
mutilation is often linked to extraterrestrials or secretive governmental and military agencies. However, some
How you
suggest
doing,
that a
Charlie?
cryptid predator could be responsible. Could that predator be Bigfoot? There have been reports that some early settlers in New England witnessed Bigfoot stealing or eating cattle, so if they eat it, they could also mutilate it. The exact diet of Bigfoot has never been established, but it's widely believed that they are omnivores, consuming both plants and meat. As well as cattle,
I
Bigfoot
absolutely
has been
believe in
reported to eat
Bigfoot,
sheep, chickens,
and
rabbits,
I think it's
along with roots, leaves,
all over.
berries, grass,
They're
and
all
other
over,
matter.
like North
So
America,
it could be that we are blaming the wrong thing for cattle mutilations.
all the way from like BC. I think they're even up in the
Perhaps
Canadian
Bigfoot
Shield
is
up in
the
northern
wrong.
Ontario.
What do you think?
But there's reports of them down in Florida, Louisiana, and the swamps, and just okay. Sorry, we're on to number 3.
Ghost caught on indoor camera.
This is why I was told to watch this.
This next video is a rare and unexplained phenomenon that was posted to Reddit by League01. The footage was captured in the early hours of the 22nd of March 2025 by a motion sensor camera in the stairway of the poster's home. The video captured our attention due to the amount of comments it has gained. Take a look. Now, there's a few things to discuss about the video.
Okay.
The most obvious is the orbs. Although these can be easily explained as dust particles, as the poster pointed out that the area is carpeted. However, the black shadow movement by the dog cage at the bottom of the stairs is harder to explain, especially as it appears to move upwards just before the bag falls. Comments also pointed out the twinkle near the bag before it fell. But this was explained by the decoration on the bag.
There, look
The
at
poster
that.
was clearly unsettled by what he viewed on his camera, and was happy to answer all questions posed to him. He had lived in the house for 4 years. It was a new build, and only he and his wife had ever lived there. The house is located in the middle of Las Vegas, and until this incident, the couple had never felt any negative energy in the home.
Would you look at
At the
that?
time of the incident, both the poster and his wife were in the bedroom, and he confirmed they had dogs but no cats, and that the dogs, who usually react to the slightest sound, paid no attention when the bag fell, which was out of character. Many noticed the lights that looked like eyes behind the bag, but they were explained as a reflection of the camera's infrared light from the window, and the reason the video switched to full colour at the end was due to the motion sensor activating the floodlight. It was also established that there were 2 mobile phones in the bag, and it was suggested that a text or call may have caused one of the phones to vibrate, leading to the bag falling as a result. The poster agreed that this could be possible, although he doubted it since the bag was quite heavy and loaded with his wife's belongings, and it would have taken considerable force to dislodge it from the ledge. However, despite having explanations for most of the anomalies in the footage, the poster was troubled by the black streaks, which he could not explain, and it seemed nobody else could. He began to theorize that there could be an entity present in the house of native origin, considering the building was located in the northern part of Las Vegas, in the midst of the desert. It's worth noting that long before the towering casinos and bustling streets, the land that is now Las Vegas was home to indigenous peoples, whose cultures shaped the region for thousands of years, and relatives of the tribe still exist in the area today. It's long been believed that building on sacred tribal burial grounds leads to the presence of evil spirits that torment the inhabitants, and disturbing a burial site places a curse on the area. This perspective is widely shared among indigenous cultures in the US, who believe it prevents the spirit of the deceased from moving on. So could it be that the black streaks in the video are the disturbed spirits of people who lived many years ago, or is there another explanation for the anomalies in the video that no one can quite figure out yet? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this one.
What do you guys think? I think that was pretty cool. The black tissue.
The murders of Carl Van Komen and Kevin Nelson.
Oh, great. That first
December
story
9,
was a bummer.
2016 was a
I don't
cold
know if
winter
this
day
is
in
gonna
South
be a
Ogden,
repeat.
Utah, a small town in Weber County. A young man named Brock Van Komen lived at 3636 Ogden Avenue in a residential neighborhood just a block or so away from the busy Washington Boulevard thoroughfare. Brock lived in the house with 4 other men, including his 2 brothers. The house had attracted some police attention in the past after complaints about loud music and partying, but in general the men were respectful and got along fine with their neighbors. That evening, Brock and his housemates were planning to go bowling, but before they set out, they wanted to grab a bite to eat. At around 7:45 p.m, Brock and one of his brothers went to the local shop to buy some quick microwavable meals. Shortly after they left their neighborhood, 61-year-old Kevin Nelson, who lived across the street, wandered over to the house and struck up a conversation with Brock's other brother, Kyle, and his roommates. They got on well with Kevin, and it wasn't unusual for him to pop over for a chat. However, none of them had a clue that at that moment, their home was being stalked by 3 masked individuals who were waiting outside ready to attack. Take a look at this disturbing footage, recovered by police from CCTV in and around the house.
There's cameras everywhere. You can't get away with anything now. So,
The 3 perpetrators were wearing plastic masks, and at least one of them had a gun. They can be seen peering in windows, watching the occupants inside. The police later revealed that they had been observing Brock's house for at least an hour. After Brock and his brother left, these sinister individuals approached the house preparing to ambush those inside. Over the next 10 minutes, a sustained and brutal slaying occurred, although the exact details of what happened and why remain unknown. A few minutes later, one of the perpetrators is seen outside of the property running from the scene. By the time Brock and his stepbrother returned, 2 people were shot dead and 1 was seriously injured. At 7:58 p.m, police were called, and minutes later they cautiously approached 3636 Ogden Avenue. From the outside, there was no sign of anything out of the ordinary, but inside they were greeted with carnage. They found the bodies of 24-year-old Kyle Van Komen and Kevin Nelson. Both had been shot at point-blank range, execution style, and nothing could be done to save them. In the backyard, they found a seriously injured 20-year-old Hispanic man who had been shot in the neck and was clinging to life. He was one of Brock's housemates. It appeared he had tried to flee the attackers and was shot down as he ran into the backyard. A 4th roommate managed to escape and was unharmed. Police immediately locked down the crime scene and started conducting door-to-door inquiries, and crime scene investigators remained at the property overnight, looking for any clues pointing to the culprits' identities. However, officials were very reluctant to release any information, although were quick to point out that they didn't believe there was any risk of the offenders striking again. They eventually named the 2 dead, but the identity of the 3rd victim, who was still in critical condition at the local ICU, would be withheld for their own safety. And to this day, despite him surviving his injuries, his name is not publicly known. Officials would later describe the circumstances of the shooting as disgusting, but would not elaborate on that. On Tuesday, December 13th, police officials gave information through a press release. Again, they were keeping their cards close to their chest, but did reveal that they had the CCTV footage we showed you earlier, showing the 3 suspects lurking outside the home. The footage was released to the public in the hope that somebody may recognize the perpetrators by their mannerisms or clothing, as they were all wearing what is believed to be paintball masks. Unfortunately, all of the footage was recorded in night vision, so it was lacking in significant detail. Costa Rica UFO. In 2007, carpenter Marvin Badilla was working in a house in Tarbaca, a small town in Costa Rica, when he experienced an extraordinary encounter with what can only be described as a classic flying saucer. At around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, Marvin was sanding wood in the garden when he heard a strange buzzing sound. When he looked around, he witnessed an object darting back and forth, moving with speed and agility that suggested it was not a conventional craft. Marvin quickly pulled out his Motorola Razr V3 flip phone and started filming. Take a look.
William, William!
What the fuck? No. Come on, really?
As you can hear, Marvin continually called out to his colleague William, who was in the house. But William was too focused on his drilling to hear Marvin's shouts. Momentarily, Marvin looked around to alert his colleague, but when he turned back to look towards the craft, it was gone. Marvin later described the UFO as the size of a large tractor wheel that emitted a pulsating, vibrant light that alternated between shades of blue and green, He said it moved in ways that no conventional aircraft could, and at the time he felt in awe of what he was witnessing, as well as a twinge of fear. The footage was uploaded to various social media platforms and went viral. Overnight, Marvin became something of a local celebrity, with news channels and newspapers keen to interview him about what he had witnessed. The public were excited that finally a video had been released that clearly showed a classic flying saucer, hovering just a few meters above the ground, leaving them in no doubt that this was no ordinary earthly vehicle.
Did it flip over? And
Oscar
then take
Sierra,
off?
a ufologist from Costa Rica, was also keen to give his opinion on what had been witnessed, and believed the object could not have been a conventional vehicle due to its size being too small to accommodate a normal-sized person. He suggested that it might be some sort of probe, similar to the ones humans recently sent to Titan. One thing is for sure, the footage fueled the ongoing investigation into the existence of extraterrestrial life, and one of the earliest camera phones was able to capture clear visual evidence of a craft that to date hasn't been explained and remains one of the clearest examples of a UFO. Costa Rica is no stranger to unexplained phenomena. Over the years, there have been various reports of strange lights and unidentified objects in the skies, and it appears to be a hotspot for extraterrestrial activity.
No, I haven't heard.
He was also
anything
responsible
about
for one of the
that.
best ever images of a UFO. This photo was taken over 50 years ago, and it appears to show a disc-shaped craft flying
I've
above
seen
Lake
this.
Cote. Aerial photographer Sergio Liazza captured the grainy black and white image while surveying land for a hydroelectric project at 10,000 feet. Made public in 2024, the enhanced photograph reveals a shiny metallic disc, visible only in a single frame taken at 8:25 a.m. Leslie Keane, a noted UFO researcher, has described it as the best UFO photo ever taken. We'd love to know your thoughts on these two. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, keep searching, and we'll see you
Thanks
soon.
for letting me watch, and don't copyright strike.
Now every Canadian can get
Not that it matters. I don't think I'm Game of Thrones. What are we gonna watch next here? Top 5. You wanna watch this one, guys? Might as well. We'll watch another one. So today I had company. I had somebody was upstairs with me, and they said to me, "What was that? What was that? What noise did your phone make?" And my phone was in my pocket, and it set to vibrate, and I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "It's like a little boy saying hello, coming from over there. I thought it was your phone." I'm like, "No," and like I didn't hear it or anything, and I didn't say anything, and yeah, so couple of small other little things have happened, and I thought I would just do this as a live stream as something different. So I'll do next live stream. I can go back to regular, but yeah, I thought I would try this out since I figured out how I could like overlay myself, and somebody sent me the link to that video. So I'm not good at this, and I'm not gonna. Don't even attempt to console me. I get too engrossed. I didn't watch any of these videos or anything, so this is me just like, what the fuck? That UFO, it was like spinning. I didn't catch how large it was. It didn't look like it was that big, but then it just flipped over and took off. So we'll watch this next one. We'll see what this is all about. Yeah, I'm sorry about the volume. Is my voice coming through okay? Am I blasting over the video, or am I matching? Is it? Because in order, like the copyright thing, I do have to talk over it and make it content. So it is what it is. it is what it is. I just feel like I'm hearing something upstairs. To me, it sounds like movement there. So I'll play this, and if worse comes to worse, I can swing this around. Just. Actually, since this is just like an inaugural usage of this, my voice is just maybe a hair over. Okay, I'll turn it down. These settings will always be here, so beautiful. Yeah, well, it was quite interesting because I didn't hear a thing. I didn't hear a thing, and nor the dog didn't react or anything like that. So that really stood out, and I didn't say anything, and I didn't share anything. I just like I thought par for the course. Is that how they say it? Par for the course. So we'll get this going, and oh, Shelley's here. I don't know if you can attest, but here in my area, so I was hoping to do some gardening, and even more importantly, or as importantly as gardening, is getting out and doing some filming for videos. Just and the weather. I'm sorry, I'm not going out in this cold rain, and it's just you pull up the weather app and you look for the week, and it's just boom, rain across the board. So it's early. It's only May. So here, and the funny thing is, up in northern Ontario where I grew up, they could really use this rain because there's fires all over. So it's going to be interesting weather-wise. So
Welcome to another episode of Too Close to Home, the series where we dig up creepy stories, haunted places, and mysteries from our very own patrons' hometowns. This episode, we're looking at Jose, Rio, Amanda, James, and Harry's locations. And do we have some good stories in store for you five? If you want us to dig up stories from your area, head on over to Patreon and join our Too Close to Home tier. Thank you everyone for supporting. And now, hit those lights, sit back, and enjoy.
Top 5.
Jose, Santa Cruz, California. What can we say about Santa Cruz? It has everything, from good weather to amazing beaches and woodland scenery. However, like everything, looks can be deceiving, as it also has a darker side, and in true top 5 style, that is what we're going to look at for our Patreon and Santa Cruz resident Jose. First, we'll take a look at his creepy links to Alfred Hitchcock. Sunshine Villa is a rather imposing building nestled at the top of a hill near the Santa Cruz boardwalk. Today, it's an assisted living facility housing 124 residents. However, the building has gone through many reincarnations since it was first built in 1867, and in the late 1800s was substantially extended and turned into a hotel called Hotel McRae. For many years in the late 1800s to mid-1900s, it welcomed guests. However, with the increase in motor cars, the demand for hotel stays declined, and the building started falling into a state of disrepair, taking on a rather creepy-looking facade. During the 1960s, influential filmmaker and master of suspense Alfred Hitchcock lived in the area, and while looking for inspiration for a film, came across the then dilapidated building, Hotel McRae, and allegedly drew inspiration for the fictional Bates Motel in the film Psycho. But that's certainly not the only creepy thing about the building.
It's actually,
Apparently, it's also haunted, with guests and employees said to have reported inexplicable cold spots and ghostly voices, along with eerie lights and even Satanists. Another little story about Santa Cruz and Hitchcock is that his horror movie The Birds, that he adapted from Daphne du Maurier's novel, was filming at around the time of an actual event that occurred in Santa Cruz on August 18, 1961, when residents in the Pleasure Point and Capitola area were awakened at 3 a.m. by a massive flight of sooty shearwaters colliding with buildings and floundering in the streets. Those who investigated with torchlights were terrified, as thousands of the birds flew towards their lights, causing them to hurry back inside. When they later opened their doors in the light of day, they found dead and stunned seabirds littering the streets and roads outside their homes. The poor birds had disgorged bits of fish and fish skeletons all over the roads, lawns and rooftops, left an overpowering stench of fish. Apparently Hitchcock used accounts of what happened to add to his film. Officials later determined that the particularly heavy fog that night reflected the city's lights in a way that confused the animals, causing them to terrify the residents with their erratic behavior. Next up, let's cover the mysterious disappearance of Ronald Dean LaValle Jr. Ronald was born on January 2nd, 1968, but apart from that, very little information is available on his early life. Ronald was last seen on January 25th, 1988, age 20, at his residence in the 400 block of Midway Ranch Road in Boulder Creek, California, where he lived with two of his friends. The exact circumstances of his disappearance are unknown, as his friends gave investigators several verifying accounts. Initially, the pair said that Ronald had been abducted and murdered by biker types, and they later walked this statement back and claimed that his story was simply a bad dream. Later, the 20-year-old's friends insisted that he'd moved to Las Vegas without notifying his family. Detectives, however, were unable to find any trace of Ronald in the area, and it was soon proved that this account was false. The only thing Ronald's friends told law enforcement that is considered to be even remotely true was that he'd been using cocaine and marijuana regularly, and that he was involved in a string of small-time burglaries. His father, Ronald Sr., confirmed this claim, but believed that it was for medicinal purposes. It has been alleged that Ronald Jr. was involved in a small marijuana trafficking operation at the time of his disappearance, and investigators believe that he may have knowledge of a deliberately set fire in Santa Cruz that destroyed 5 businesses, including one owned by the 20-year-old's roommates. Furthermore, before he vanished, Ronald was seen by his family with large amounts of cash that he was unwilling to account for. While foul play is suspected in the case, it has largely gone cold in the recent years since Ronald went missing. His father, Ronald Sr., believes that his son was murdered and that his body has never been found. The family and their plight hit the headlines again in December 2002 when Ronald Jr.'s brother, David Shane LaValle, who was 13 months younger, attacked the sibling's father, leaving him in the hospital, where he received stitches for the wounds to his scalp. They were described by police officers as deep lacerations. David had reportedly struck Ronald Sr. several times with a hatchet outside of their rented cabin on Highway 9. Notably, this wasn't David's first run-in with the law. Reporters who covered the story discovered that the 33-year-old had 36 cases against him for charges including burglary, sex crimes, and various drug-related offenses. As for the incident involving David and his father, law enforcement officials stated that it was a miracle Ronald Sr. didn't die. While they didn't publicly reveal what prompted the attack, Ronald Sr. told media outlets that it was due to the stress of his brother's disappearance, stating, "My son has had some problems since his brother disappeared. He's never been the same. My family has been devastated since that time." Reportedly, since Ronald Jr. went missing, David has struggled with depression and has bouts of delusions. The pair argued on Christmas Day when David urged his father to stop investigating the case, telling him to let it go, but Ronald Sr. refused. Ronald told the Santa Cruz Sentinel, "It's a very small valley here. People know. It's so frustrating. I've been going through hell for 14 years." Ronald Sr. previously owned Mountain Juice Bar in the Ben Lomond area, but as of 2002, he was on disability benefits with David. In the years since Ronald Jr.'s vanishing, His father has searched tirelessly for him, prodding investigators for progress updates, hanging posters in the local area, and giving interviews to try and keep interest in his son's case alive. In 2002, he was dedicating 1 day a week to working on the case. As for David, after attacking his father, the 33-year-old fled on foot and hid in the nearby woods for a short time, before walking along Highway 9.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by
Here we are live.
Guys, straight or to the right? Which way should I go? Left? Okay. Right, okay. Who's speaking? Who's the woman's voice?
It's still Mormons.
Okay, you guys tell me, left or right? Left or right? That sounded like right. Like, this side of the cemetery is way more active. How many are there? How many spirits? Three? Do you want me to come day or night? What's the best time of the day to come visit you guys?
So I haven't been able to
Big
replicate
ideas.
that. I just haven't been able to. I haven't been able going to the graveyards and stuff like that. Like that to me was just one of the best days I've had, where it's just I walked through and it was like I was surrounded by answers. Every time I'd ask a question, and I'd get a response, and it was just even the ones that said don't come back. And I can't figure out the weather, the time of the year. I haven't been able to just have that great of a day there since, and it's like perfect responses. So we'll just try again.
hear it. Oh, fuck. Let's hear it. Let's make beer bottles. I heard you.
This is when I really started to.
You are not welcome here. It's right there. Those are my. I hear you.
Yes, I did. And the screw, it wasn't anywhere. It was down by the stairs, so boom.
All that matters to me is all you fans out here. Now, Nick, lay some up carpet. Because it's gonna happen.
These are just the camera, just from when I left the cameras on. That's my shower curtain.
Gear up for summer fun at Walmart. Summer ready at low prices.
See the door?
You good? You okay? You saw him too. You saw that too, eh? You protect me? Standing about this tall. Rounded. It was a see-through black, just mass. It was there for 10-15 seconds when I opened up my eyes. As I went to get my phone to record, it just went zip, zip, it fucked off right down the hallway. Oh, fuck. Oh, are you coming? You wait here. Did you hear the right in there? For fuck's sake. Fuck off. Come here. You stay with me safe. Okay? We protect each other. We'll go downstairs. Okay? We go see what that was. We go. Come on. Come on, buddy. No. You don't want to go down? Come here. I'll pick you up. Terry. You scared? Come on. Okay. Okay, you don't have to come. You wait here.
He's like, fuck you.
Are you okay? You okay? Thank you. You're a good boy, eh? You protect Daddy. Yeah. Thank you. Fuck. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I gotta go.
I gotta start whipping out my phone.
Wait here, okay? Yeah, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. You wait here. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
He's not as great.
You're a tough guy, eh? You wait here. Yeah, I'll be there. Okay? I'll be right back. Come right back.
Okay. Thanks for joining me on the mellow stream. I'd say this was an absolute failure, but it was nice to sit here and watch this with you guys and watch the other one. Yeah, this is, I'm definitely not a content commenter. That's not my forte. This is like the second time I've tried it. I've tried gaming. I'm not a game streamer like Steve, and thanks for joining me, guys. I love you lots. I'll see you very, very soon. Very soon. I agree.